Green flag is in the air. Yes, we're green at Atlanta. No spinning of the tires for Kyle Busch on that start. He takes the early lead.
Yeah, now he's usually ready to go, but I think that sun that you talked about there may hamper, especially the guy that is in second place, not being able to really see and understand what's going on because it is so bright there as you get to the start-finish line. So that may hamper that if we have any more restarts. Yeah, it's almost like you have to go into that corner by memory. You can see from that shot right there, it's hard to see. You can already see what the drivers love about this racetrack. Run on the very bottom, in the middle, and at the top.
6. That's Ricky Stenhouse right in front of the 33 of Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, you can see Stenhouse ran the top down in 1 and 2. Back on the bottom, a little sideways there, but had a great run down the back straightaway to take that second spot away.
But we noticed that in the truck race last night. Everybody seemed to run higher, and there's that sun again going into 1 and 2. And then, Dave, give us an update on that sun.
Well, Marty, Elliott Sadler had 3 concerns there going into turn 1. Right now, as he goes down the backstretch, his rear view mirror is obscured. He can't see what people are doing behind him. And then finally, if he has to pit early, seeing his pit box as Stenhouse shoots to the lead.
And you're right, shoot is the right word.
Yeah, I just looked at the lap time. That the first time lap for Stenhouse was faster than the qualifying speed for the pole.
So Ricky Stenhouse has a car that right now is flying, and we've got the caution out, as the word is Joey Gase has, yes, hit the wall.
He's hit it pretty good, too.
Now, the last couple of years, we went like almost 40 or more laps before we had our first caution.
Yeah, 43 laps the last 2 years before the first caution. Yeah, that's real early. Must have had some kind of mechanical issue that, like I said, something broke.
Joey's okay, but they're going to have to tow him back. He was 38th, and Joey actually did have some problems earlier in practice. He spun. Now watch the back right of your screen.
Oh, look at that. Just straight in the wall. Yeah. No control at all.
Yeah, I don't think you can hang that one on Joey.
No. No, and not even it didn't. That's not even a tire. That's something in the steering that looked like it broke as you got down into the corner.
So Joey climbing out. You can see he is okay. None the worse for wear. But his night is over very early here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He'll make the mandatory trip to the Infield Care Center. We'll make a mandatory trip, but we'll be right back. The Tigers at 8 o'clock on ESPN2. Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. You also can catch it live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. All right, nobody pitted. So let's talk a little bit about tire management with our over-the-wall reporter, Jeff Schoaf. Jeff, you only 5 sets, so Andy up here said nobody would be a taker, and sure enough, how do you manage the tires down there?
Well, I think you're gonna want to take tires every chance you get, but you don't want to come too early and burn through a set of these Goodyears. The race track is so fast and so coarse that you really burn them up real quick. The tires fall off really fast, and we'll do our best we can to manage them, but we're going to get them in here and out of the pits as quick as we can.
How fast did you see the fall off? How many laps did you guys go before you really saw the times dive?
Multiple, 2 and 3 laps. That's it. Even in qualifying, you saw guys, making 1 lap and done. As soon as they get 1 lap of full speed on them, they immediately start to fall off.
All right, Jeff, thanks for the update. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. And
thank you, guys.
Let's reset it. We've got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on point. He's led 12 of our 14 laps so far. Kyle Busch has led the other 2. And you've got Elliott Sadler, Kyle Busch, there in row 2. Casey Kane, Denny Hamlin in row 3. Pace car is pulled off. There you see row 4 with Sam Horner, Greg Keselowski, and green flag flies. We're back to racing. Oh, and again, 2 wide coming down now, 3 wide,
Yep.
heading in the corner. That's Casey Kane in the 38.
Elliott Sadler up on the high side trying to make that work. We haven't seen this work in the nationwide cars much up on the high side, but Sadler getting a good run off turn 4.
They come by the stripe this time, and you will have Stenhouse, Harvick, Sadler, Kyle Busch, and Kane. That is your top 5.
Like early on here, Kyle Busch really struggling with his car. He's usually so good on these restarts. This car not performing like he's looking for it to yet.
There's Denny Hamlin in the 18 right behind Kyle's 54. And again, Elliott way up top.
Yeah, he made that work on that first lap, but I just don't know that that's the way to do it. See Harvick make a nice run off turn 4, trying to make this work down on the low side into 1 and 2.
Kevin Harvick. Can he clear him? It looks like he will.
I say earlier, Harvick's one of those guys I've seen to make the bottom work really well, especially in 1 and 2, where he can get his left front wheel basically on below the yellow line, and even on it or below it. I think that can pay off big tonight.
The battle for 6. Casey Kane, Brad Keselowski, Sam Hornish right behind. Everybody sort of gets back in line. You know, we've noticed so many different lines, and we mentioned last night in the truck race, everybody was able to run high up in 1 and 2, but down in 3 and 4, the circumference is a much wider arc and maybe not enough horsepower.
Yeah, it sure makes a difference. It makes it more difficult in that end. But if you can make that work and kind of maintain, then you're not abusing your tires as much as you are when you go to the bottom in 3 and 4. So if you can make it work and just not lose any time in 3 and 4, then you're only going to help save the life of the tires a little bit more.
Just watching that lap through 3 and 4, Stenhouse tried to run the bottom right there with Harvick and lost probably 3 or 4 car lengths through the middle of the corner. Might try something different.
Yeah, and Harvick, as you mentioned, does seem to make it work better. Well, we saw him here a couple of years ago, just wear everybody out running every lap right on the bottom.
There goes Casey Kane as he gets around Denny Hamlin. So move Kane up to the 5th position as Denny goes high.
The way to make that top work is you got to use that momentum that you gain from running that higher speed through the middle of the corner and then carry it all the way down the straightaway. It doesn't seem like you say, it's as big an advantage with the Nationwide Series cars as it is the Sprint Cup car.
Now Denny goes down low, right on the line. Let's get an update on that 38 from Vince Welch.
Well, with the sun going down, the handling of some of these cars, and we're starting to hear some different feedback from guys now that the track might be starting to cool off a little bit. The lights have come on here. Casey Kane says the car's a little bit tight, but it's a good tight. We hear so many drivers talking about being on the edge. A little security good for the 38 right now.
Talked to several of his crew members today, and they were very confident. They said, we've got ourselves a good race car.
Yeah, and having it a little bit tight allows you to go up there, stay in the gas a lot, which is what Casey Kane's really good at these mile-and-a-half racetrack, keeping that momentum up. And if you've got it a little bit on the tight side where you're not pushing that right front off, it's a really good car to drive.
Yeah, now what happens is late in the run, that can really pay off here. I was able to look at some of the tire wear statistics from some of the teams from practice, and you can see the tire wear really on the right rear is quite a bit higher than it is on the right front. So if you can save that right rear a little bit by having a tight race car, it can pay off late.
Let's check in on Austin Dillon. You're on board with him. He's fighting with the 11 of Brian Scott. That is for 12th and 13th. Austin's little brother Ty won the truck race last night, his first Camping World Truck Series victory.
Well, that Austin was looking forward to coming to a racetrack, even though he doesn't have any experience here in a nationwide car. But the last 3 weeks have been hurting his championship chances quite a bit. So they were looking to make some good things happen here, Shannon.
Yeah, Dale, something else he's looking forward to is coming down pit road and making some adjustments to that car. He says it's very free. The right rear is just completely coming around on him. He can't put any wheel in it.
That's a difficult race car to drive here because we talked about the high speed and not a lot of grip. And when you're trying to do that, you're just literally trying to hang on as a driver right at that point in time.
Checking in on another battle. Sam Hornish Jr. in the 12, the 18 of Denny Hamlin. That's for 12. Oh, Sam gets a little wiggle there.
Yeah, you're going to get that down there. It's so rough down on the bottom part of the racetrack there, and the car just jumps around. You just have to manhandle it off the corner then.
and he was able to complete the pass in the process.
You can see it, whoa, big time wiggle getting into turn 3. He's still able to stay in it, though.
Dave, give us an update on that 12th car. What are you hearing?
Well, right now it looks as bad as it looks the whole race, but Sam said early on, like around lap 5, it's the best it had been all weekend. So they may be seeing a swing in this race car they don't like right now, but after being very, very loose in practice, Sam's opening laps were the best he had had.
Looking at the battle for 3rd place right now, Kyle Busch in the 54, Elliott Sadler up high again.
Like Kyle's able to find just a little bit of grip getting all the way down on the bottom of the track.
Kyle does clear him, and there's Casey Kane sneaking up on the 2.
He sparks flying from that 54 on the apron.
Sadler looks to have his hands full right now as he lost 1 spot to the 54, and Casey's knocking on the door.
Really seen Elliott be committed to that top lane. I just wonder if losing all these spots, would he kind of reconsider his strategy here?
Sometimes your car dictates that it won't let you go to the bottom of the racetrack.
So move Kane up into the number 4 spot. You're looking at race leader Kevin Harvick, his longest winning streak, 29 races here in this series. Welcome back to the NRA American Warrior 300 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Kevin Harvick is, shall we say, ruling the roost. He has led 28 laps. His lead right now is 11 seconds over Casey Kane. He just put Danica Patrick down. She's running a respectable 16th. That's right. Only 15 cars are on the lead lap. Danica's last lap was a 34.6. Kevin is running at 33.1. Nobody has come close to him on these lap times. We have a total of 10 cars out of this race. That gets you caught up. Let's check in with Shannon Spade.
Well, Marty, Danica Patrick started off very, very loose. It has started to snug up on her just a bit. So Tony Uri Jr., her crew chief, as well as her spotter, they're having her move around the racetrack a little bit, try different lines in different corners. That was one thing that they wanted her to work on all weekend long. Groove management was going to be key for this race for her. She had a lot of practice laps, and she's still working on it now as the race goes on.
And you heard Rusty Wallace talk about that he predicted she would go down a lap early, fight her way, try and get back on the lead lap. We'll see if she can do that. Here's some side-by-side action. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 6, the 22 of Brad Keselowski. And Stenhouse has been slowly sliding back here, guys.
Well, I said a while ago that he was driving the wheels off of it, and I think he literally has driven the tires off of it trying to get that car around. Here's Cole Witt in, Shannon.
Cole Witt's going to bring that 88 car down pit road. He's going to take 4 tires and a track bar adjustment. As he says, he just can't drive off. The car is too tight. Air pressure and Sunoco fuel for the 88.
So he is the first to come here on lap number 48. I can also tell you that the 81 of Jason Bowles has made a pit stop. Here comes the 3 of Austin Dillon. Shannon, you're up again.
Yeah, Austin Dillon making his first nationwide start here at Atlanta, guys. He is in that points hunt, 35 points behind a first coming into this race. The car was loose, but hearing on the radio, they said no changes. They're just going to go for 4 tires on that 3 car. Got a lot of notes from his brother Ty, who won the truck race last night. The 3 is out of the pit box. Mike.
Brad Keselowski a little bit free in turn 3. They're going to try to tighten him up with an air pressure adjustment. A 4-tire change for Brad Keselowski as he tries to perfect this race car. Still looking for speed tonight. Dave?
Mike Elliott Sadler is on pit road complaining of a loose race car. The right rear is gone. He said that 3 different times during this run. Crew Chief Luke Lambert said we got just what you need. That'll be 4 fresh tires, a full load of Sunoco fuel, and an air pressure adjustment. Leader Kevin Harvick is on pit road. Harvick's car was just right, as you could tell. 4 fresh tires, full of Sunoco fuel, no changes to Harvick, who has led this race for so many laps during the first portion.
The 6 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. They're going to make a chassis adjustment. He said it's just too tight, especially through 1 and 2. It's a 4-tire change in Sunoco fuel for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Dave.
Kyle Busch is in, Vince. He will take 4 fresh tires. They will pop that spring rubber into the left rear. Again, his car is still very, very loose, waiting for the full load of fuel, and now Kyle leaves.
The 38 of Casey Kane is in. Kane says it feels loose in the right rear, but it's tight otherwise. 4 tires, they're going to make a chassis adjustment, a half around a wedge out, air pressure out of the right rear as well. 4 fresh tires at Sunoco Fuel. Dave?
Sam Hornish Jr., a strong top 10 run. Bueller has a wedge wrench in his hand. It'll go into the left rear. His race car was loose in and off the corner. He'll get 4 fresh tires and also another load of fuel, which will take him another 50 or 55 laps on this run. Marty?
Boy, you see that just poetic move down there. Those guys.
Yeah, that was kind of cool how the fueler sucked the wrench in the window. You saw the carrier come over and put his tire in there on the left rear and make the adjustment. Here comes Danica making her stop.
45 miles an hour, the pit road speed.
Tires, guys, 4 tires. Help me out. Keep on coming. Keep on coming.
Shannon, she's coming your way.
Yeah, the last word from Danica Patrick was that she had no right rear to lean on. They're going to make a 4-tire change on this 7 car. She's also saying that the steering feels very sensitive while she's going through those turns. You see those guys going to the left side of the car. Danica Patrick making her very first start here in the Nationwide Series at Atlanta, doing double duty this weekend, so it's been a very busy day. Marty?
Good pit stop, 14.5 seconds. You notice the 22 coming out at the bottom of your screen. Too fast entering. That was the pass-through.
Yeah, this is one of these. Let's talk about this to start to show how getting off the racetrack is really difficult. You don't have a lot of grip to get the car woed down, and you can see he carried a little too much speed. And he tried to make an adjustment. I watched this when he was doing it. He tried to make an adjustment to get back down to the right speed, but it was too late. He'd already crossed one of the timing line.
Guess who else got caught speeding, entering too fast? The 38 of Casey Kane. He is doing his pass-through penalty as we speak. There he is with Mike Wallace right behind him.
Making those green flag stops on worn out tires. You come off the banking where there's no grip to start with, and it's really hard to try to, you're trying to push the speed. You're trying to get there as quick as you can, but it's so easy to overdo it.
Bad news for the 22 as you're looking at race leader Kevin Harvick. Another penalty.
He must have sped down pit road when he was making his pass through.
And the 38 is getting busted again.
Oh my.
Back-to-back penalties for both of them.
4,000 all the way down.
I was going to make mention that I got caught one time. This thing is so difficult. I got caught 3 different times doing the same thing here. So these guys are trying to catch my record.
Yeah, it was the first segment
Right,
that we're talking about. That very first timing segment when you come off the track is where they're getting caught.
Yeah, it's just such a sharp angle. You go from, as I said in the opening, 180 miles an hour trying to get down to pit road speed. Just so difficult, especially you don't want to give up that time. You know you've already lost a lot of time to the leader that's out there flying by everybody anyway.
And you see the 33 flying by Casey Kane. So Kevin Harvick, who came in with like about an 8-second lead, guess what? He now leads Kyle Busch in second place by 15 seconds. We only have 11 cars on the lead lap. Kevin's trying to make it his own private show tonight. Kevin Harvick is our leader here at the NRA American Warrior 300 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Alongside in the front row on the high side is the number 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Pace car pulls off. Back in row number 2, you've got Sam Hornish and Elliott Sadler, 2 of our championship contenders. And then Justin Allgaier, Kyle Busch, 5th and 6th. And you're saying, where's Austin Dillon? He is a lap down, restarting in 9th. He's got to get on his horse.
Another driver there a lap down, Denny Hamlin in that 18 car. I think we're all shocked to see that. We expected him to be up here and be a part of the mix for the win.
In fact, positions 8 through 16 are all a lap down. And then you get 2 laps down with Casey Kane in 17th, 18th, Brad Keselowski also 2 down. You're on board with Brad. Sam Hornish in the 12, side by side with the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And there's Elliott going high again.
He's going high. Casey Kane trying to go between he and Kyle Busch, see if he can make that work.
Kyle tucks in. Now he goes low.
Casey Kane 2 laps down, racing among the leaders here. got a great race car. It's just going to be hard to get 2 laps back.
I believe they made a pit stop. I believe then they put tires on that race car when they came in there, trying to see if they can drive up and maybe get one of those laps back, because there are so many cars just a lap down. They're not going to get a free pass.
If you're tuning in
Oh,
late.
Casey Gaines sideways.
Yeah. The 38 and the 22 got busted for speeding twice. That's why they're both 2 laps down.
Now that had to take a little bit of goodie off that right rear tire anyway on Casey Gaines.
Vince, you've got more on that 38?
Well, when they came in, they just topped off for fuel. They did not take tires on that last pit stop. So Kane's still working with the same set of tires, but they did take a little extra fuel.
Thanks for the update, Vince. Appreciate it. 3 of our championship contenders all up in this mix right now. But everybody is chasing Kevin Harvick.
I saw him come on pit road. If I'd have been the crew chief, I'd have got tires for the reason I was saying there, to try to see if you could drive up through there and get one of the laps back.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, they're going to have to do something unconventional to try to get it, because they're not just going to be able to take waiver rounds and get it back any easy way. They're going to have to drive up past the leader at least to get one of them back.
You saw where everybody shakes out in the points right now.
Keselowski's in the exact same boat. It's just hard to overcome 2 speeding penalties in a row.
Mike, you've got more on that 22 car?
As Andy was saying, he's in the same situation as the 38 car, and as DJ alluded to, you need to do something unconventional. Unlike the 38, though, when the 22 came down pit road under that last caution, they did take 4 fresh tires, trying to use the goodie up there, trying to do something to get them back in this race. Obviously, they need a lot to happen, though.
Well, you can see him just working that wheel.
Yeah, you do it. You work hard here as a driver. I mean, it's 24 degrees of banking, and you can't say it enough about how little grip there is out there. So you really have to work. You're not ever going to get the car what you would call really good. So you're always working the steering wheel to make the most speed you possibly can.
That just looks scary. I mean, he's turned that wheel to the right going through the middle of the corner at 160.
31 of Justin Allgaier is in 6th spot. He is on the lead lap. Now, the 3 of Austin Dillon and the 99 of Travis Pastrana, they're battling for position for 8th. But they are 1 lap down. How about Travis Pastrana?
This is a great run tonight for him. I mean, he is not on the lead lap, but he's racing some really good cars for these top 10 spots.
Yeah, you have to put not being on the lead lap into another perspective here tonight. He's inside the top 10, doing a great job for his first time here, because this is a tough racetrack, Vince.
And that was their goal tonight. They knew the challenge and how difficult this racetrack is, and the fact that he only has 7 races of experience. No mistakes. That's what his team said today. They were going to try to have a perfect race, let him have a perfect race, and see where they are at the end. So far, Pastrana's doing a heck of a job.
He's caught it several times. It's gotten loose on him.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I mean, really impressed. He doesn't have much experience at this style of racing, and he's just really taken it on well and done a great job. You see this season, only 7 races, average finish of 21.
Battle between Stenhouse and Hornish. That's 2nd place on the racetrack. Everybody is chasing Kevin Harvick. Harvick's last 5 laps, each of them has been 0.2 of a quicker than the field. He just keeps opening it up. It's 2.6 seconds.
Yeah, the only one's running close is Brad Keselowski, who is those 2 laps down, but he's running some laps that are quicker than what Harvick is. This could all work out for him as Harvick's tires get older and Brad has the fresher tires. He may get one of those laps back by driving up there and going by Harvick.
He is trying, that's for sure. And there you see the gap, how much ground he's got to make up. And here's that battle again between Stenhouse and Hornish.
We see Sam Hornish becoming better and better each and every week in this car. So we see problems for Denny Hamlin now in this 18 car.
Caution's out.
So Denny is slow and the caution comes out.
He's got a right rear tire down.
Yeah, it is. It's flat. And there's
part
of it. Back here at Atlanta, we now show 13 cars on the lead lap. We had a total of 14 waiver rounds, but 6 of those cars get back on the lead lap, including Danica Patrick, and no damage. A little mark there on the front where she hit the carcass of that tire, but no damage on the car. Now, from her onboard, let's give you an idea what it looked like from the cockpit.
Well, you can tell just out of that hood buckle when she hit that piece that it hit pretty hard.
And you think, well, why didn't she dodge it? It's not as easy as just, we talk about no grip here. You can't just turn the car. You're going to spin out or crash.
Let's listen in on our radio.
We hit every other damn thing this year. We might as well hit a tire carcass, too.
Of course, that's the reference back to the shoe that got tossed out at Montreal.
Yeah, but that shoe was a little bit tougher than that tire carcass, I think.
Here it comes. It didn't really do any of the damage, but it was just the beginning of what was a disappointment. There's a piece that broke off. And then it just got a little worse. Yeah, she had a good run going until then. Let's reset it for you. Harvick's up front. No surprise there. He's been leading for 67 of our laps. Cornish, Stenhouse, Kyle Busch, Elliott Sadler, Cole Witt. That's your top 6. And boy, Kevin's picking up right where he left off.
He's just so far been flawless on everything. Restarts and threw a long run. Well, just about perfect.
Side by side, the 12 and the 6. That's Hornish on the high side. Stenhouse down low. Look at Kyle Busch. He's taking the high lane, trying to get both of them. On board with Elliott Sadler in 5th. Whoa, got a little close there.
Yeah, you can see Kyle Busch had to get out of the throttle just a little bit. That allowed Elliott Sadler with a big run on the outside to move up beside him.
And Elliott's trying to continue the momentum. A few sparks coming off the back of the cars. He bounced over the bumps.
Yeah, you're going to get that air pressure still down just a little bit since they came in and just put fresh tires on.
Yeah, they're running quite a bit faster on these fresher tires. That makes cars travel a lot more. That's why you see the sparks early in the run.
Look at this. 3 of your championship contenders all in the same picture, fighting for position.
101 laps complete here in Atlanta, and earlier in the race we were talking about how experience would matter most, yet 2 of our most experienced drivers are the ones making mistakes on pit road.
Yeah, they're sailing on pit road. They just can't get these things slowed down whatsoever. These old tires are kind of wore out. They can't get them to slow down. See Casey Kane right there. He was like 20 miles an hour too fast coming in. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you only got a 55-foot zone coming in off of pit road, so you really got to get it wound down. Casey got himself in a lot of trouble there, lost a couple laps.
Both of those drivers are currently 1 lap down, and you can join our conversation on Twitter, #PitStudio. Our Twitter handle is @NASCARESPN. Join our conversation. Jeff Burton did. He said this is the hardest track to get slowed down for pit road because old tires have very little grip. And grip seems to be the big conversation out there tonight. How many times have we heard drivers talk about a loose race car? Well, not Kevin Harvick, because he's out to a 6.5-second lead. He pretty much has the perfect race car.
He does have the perfect race car, and he loves this racetrack, and he understands this track. Back in 2009, he led 131 laps here to win, and that was in a different style car. That was an old Nationwide car. You know, Brad, some people like short track racing, some are good on the road course, and some have their special favorite track. Kevin, this is one of his favorite tracks because he knows what he wants his car to do, and he works until he gets it right. He's got teammates out there, Austin Dillon, he's got Elliott Sadler. They got the same exact car, but Kevin is just driving off because he knows what he wants.
And keep this in mind, Kevin Harvick is the only driver to have won at this track in all 3 series. Caution is out. Let's go to Marty.
Well, we have the caution for the 5th time, and Casey Kane with that right rear tire, you can see it is gone, and there's debris out on the racetrack. He was running 17th at the time. 2 laps down.
See, Stenhouse just have a hard time getting going on that outside. Just trying to anticipate when the leader's going to take off, and you spin the tires. Looks like Stenhouse is going to lose a couple of spots maybe.
Could get up all the way back to 4th. See if he can carry the momentum. 3 wide back in the field. That was Danica Patrick getting awfully close to the wall. But look at Harvick. He's just been amazing. There's Travis Pastrana doing a nice job, as we pointed out, running on the lead lap.
Yeah, he's got a little fresher tires here too, so he should look really good among these cars like Austin Dillon. He's got a few laps on his tires.
And the 22 of Brad Keselowski also has fresh tires. he is now in the lucky dog position if we get another caution. Remember, he was 2 laps down. Now he's 1 down.
Yeah, that's important that Brad's in that spot for a little while here. It'll take Harvick some time. You can see those fresh tires that Keselowski has on. He's just able to slice and dice his way through this.
Just kicked a field goal between the 88 and the 3. It was good.
Casey Kane's car is still fast. He just laps down now.
Casey 3 laps down in 23rd, Andy.
And Keselowski will be able to pass a number of these cars, maybe all the way up through second spot, but he's going to have even a difficult time. As you can see, he's still making a lot of progress, but even getting to that 33 car, they got, I don't know if that's a sponsor on the side of that car or if that's just what they decided that car was going to be, but Bad Boy is the right name for sure. He is bad tonight.
Keselowski, as you saw, got around Kyle Busch, not for position, but Brad trying to work his way back to the lead lap. Sam Hornish, Casey Kane. Kane on those fresher tires.
Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse and Elliott Sadler running second and third as they battle for that second spot right now. They're running really good lap times, especially in comparison to the rest of the field. But Harvick's just in another league. He is literally 2 to 3 tenths of a second faster each and every lap.
At a minimum. I mean, it's been up to half a second to 7 tenths a lap as they run.
How frustrating is that? Look up there in the top of the picture. That was the race leader off in the distance.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen the in-car cameras, these other guys trying to wheel these things around here. We've seen Ricky Stenhouse sideways through the corners trying to make it happen, and he's losing time every single lap.
Like Keselowski, he's trying to right that wrong of 2 speeding penalties.
Yeah, and I know he's in traffic right now, but just in comparison, he's got on those fresher tires. He was only 7/100ths of a second faster the previous lap than what Kevin Harvick was.
He may not need a lucky dog if he can reel in Harvick. Let's get more on the 22.
And Marty, that's kind of what Brad's thinking right now. He just radioed in saying, look, I've got to keep an eye on the 33 right now in case he laps the 7 and puts Danica Patrick a lap down. In that case, well, the 22 wouldn't be the lucky dog at that point. So Brad knows he's going to try to take things under his own control and control his own destiny by perhaps going past the 33.
And you can see right there his last lap was quicker than our race leaders.
Yeah, that equates to about 3 tenths of a second quicker than what Kevin Harvick ran.
By the way, if you're interested, Danica Patrick, she is the last car on the lead lap. She is 9 seconds behind the race leader right now.
It'll be a long time before Harvick gets back to her. She's also got fresher tires.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make. It's not like this time or last time whenever she had those older tires, got lapped so quickly, and we have a caution.
Caution on the racetrack. It will be checking around. Don't see. Oh, there it is, the 14 of Eric McClure, and he looks like he has scraped the wall.
How much damage we got? We got some pretty good damage. A fair amount. It pulled the tire down too when I hit it.
This is the break that Brad Keselowski was looking for. That will put him back on the lead lap. Eric was running 25th, 3 laps down when this happened.
We talk about these cars being able to run up against the wall, and it's still a fine line up there. Yeah, you don't have far to go if you make a slight mistake till you're in the wall. And then a lot of things happen from there. It messes up the body, takes a tire down with it, so a lot of things happen. It's fun to run up there, but not much room for error.
So with Brad getting back on the lead lap, that'll give us 14 cars back on that lead lap.
And the good thing for Brad is he doesn't have a lot of laps on those tires, so he's going to be able to still make some time to pass some of those cars, same cars that he just got finished passing. As long as he doesn't have to make another green flag pit stop and get on pit road, he might be okay tonight. They gave him a problem twice.
I think he may have figured it out by now.
We'll have to see.
We saw Harvick trying to save fuel. So does he stay in that mode right now, or does this sort of put him in that window?
He's had quite a few caution flag laps, but they've been 35 laps since they last pitted. It's another difficult decision to make, because if you want to, I mean, the idea here is to try to keep an extra set of tires when you're inside your fuel window.
We just heard one radio saying 4 tires and fuel. And you saw Ricky Stenhouse's crew. And
Yeah,
we're being
I'm
told
surprised
that
they
was
did last time.
We're being told that was Harvick's radio, so they are loading up. This championship battle has been so interesting tonight with all of the contenders
Keselowski too
being on the lead lap. And here they come. Harvick leads them down. Vince, we're going to send it your way first.
The changes that Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s crew have made have not had a positive impact on the car. Still 5-3 on a scale of 1 to 10, so a bigger swing this time. 2 rounds down on the track bar, 2 rounds of wedge in the left rear, 4 tires for Ricky Stenhouse. Shannon?
Austin Dillon started this race very loose. The car is very, very good right now. It's going to be a 4-tire change for the 3-car bottom left. Dave?
Sadler said your adjustments are working, so keep them coming. Still just a little bit loose. 4 tires. Leader Kevin Harvick already 4 tires. His car went a tick to the loose side. They added air pressure to the right front and the left rear.
And the best pit stop turned in by Austin Dillon's crew. He picks up 3 positions, comes right out behind Harvick. And you see how everybody else fares. Now you're wondering who's the race leader? Well, the car that stayed out was the 99. Travis Pastrana. He's going to lead in his nationwide career. And he's driven a nice race tonight as well. And he may have the lead going into one, but here comes Harvick. Oh my, that 33 is a rocket ship, and Stenhouse trying to follow. Boy, that is just amazing. I don't care which way you slice it.
You thought he'd have the lead by turn 3, dude.
Yeah,
I was right, and you were too, because you said he'd have it down in 1, so I think we both got it right. But wow,
that car is just unstoppable tonight.
3 wide. They come back towards start finish.
Now, I know what they had to do with Travis Pastrana here. Boy, it really puts him in a difficult situation with a car on older tires and all of these cars that are faster than him that have fresher tires also.
Travis trying to stay down low. Now he's in the middle of the racetrack. Here you see Cole Witt going by. You're on board now with Elliott Sadler, who's running 8th.
Sam Hornish got down there. I'm not sure he knew that Kyle Busch was diving into turn 3 right there, but they were able to make it through.
Austin Dillon has cleared the 99. Here comes Hornish on the high side. And it looks like he will now clear. So now it's Elliott Sadler trying to figure out which way does he go.
Yeah, Elliott knows he's got to go right now. He's got these fresh tires, and he sees all of these other cars that have fresh tires also kind of getting away from him. He's losing touch with that first grip.
And it would have an effect on the championship. As you continue to watch, there is the 12 and the 3.
Austin Dillon, big run on the top side, though.
And you're right. Austin gets past the 88 of Cole Witt.
It's been an impressive night for that 3 car because he lost a lap early and was able to get it back, and they worked on the car. Had a great pit stop. His crew really did the job that last time, getting him a few spots on pit road. It's looks like he's paying it off for him.
While we're watching all this great action, just got to know, the 33 of Kevin Harvick just ran his fastest lap of the race on lap 128.
Well, I guess that small air pressure adjustment really made a difference. Like he needed to go faster. Goodness.
How about Cole Witt? He's running in 4th place right now. We can tell you the 38 of Casey Kane has now had to come down pit road. He'll lose a lap. He'll end up being 3 laps down again. Not the kind of night they were hoping for. Meanwhile, Cole Witt is giving the 2 of Elliott Sadler some fits.
Yeah, Sadler was able to at least make a run here, though. He's really utilizing this top side. So he's starting to move back forward. These cars that got away from him a little bit on the restart. And when you're the points leader, the last thing you want to do, you know that you've got 4 cars up there that didn't fit on older tires. Things are going to get a little bit crazy. I know Elliott, the way he thinks a lot, I'm sure that he was just being a little bit careful to make sure that he didn't get in any trouble on that restart.
Well, if you're thinking about the championship, it is very interesting because Stenhouse is running 2nd, Austin Dillon 3rd, Elliott Sadler in 4th, Sam Hornish Jr. is in 6th right now.
Yeah, we could have them running 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th here in just a minute. I think Sam Hornish will probably go by Cole Witt here in just a minute, although Cole Witt's doing a nice job tonight.
You see what it could do to the points as they were running. But we still have 63 laps to go tonight. There is your race leader, Kevin Harvick. He is in another zip code tonight. It has been glued to the racetrack on a track that doesn't normally have much glue in it.
Yeah, and of course, as we talked about experience and Cup drivers winning the last 9 of these races, but how impressive is it that our 4 championship contenders are right there in the top 6? I think that speaks volumes for how competitive they are and the type of drivers that we have battling for this championship.
That is a great point. And there you go. Another close shot of those two going after each other. Austin Dillon in front of the 2 of Elliott Sadler, and everybody is chasing Kevin Harvick. Harvick has a win in each of the top 3 series here at Atlanta. Only driver to do so. And here's the interesting thing. Harvick's truck and nationwide wins were both with Ernie Cope. Let's go back and show you the restart as we go to break and watch him pass everybody. Go along for the ride.
Grilling game with Kingsford Charcoal.
It was a beautiful view of downtown Atlanta, and there is the Atlanta Motor Speedway with 54 laps to go in tonight's NASCAR Nationwide event. The 38 car has headed for the garage, the 17th car to go behind the wall tonight. The race leader is Kevin Harvick. He has led a dominating 117 laps. Let's go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance and start it off, Dave Burns.
And Marty, earlier Rusty Wallace talked about how Kevin is so good here because he knows what he wants on his race car. But that goes for the crew chief driver relationship as well. Ernie Cope has worked with several drivers this year on this car. This is the one he knows best, and he knows what Kevin wants. He knows how to put it on the race car, and their partnership in speed has gone back a long way. Vince Welch.
Second place is Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the defending series champion. But as far as Stenhouse is concerned, they've made no ground up tonight because he says they just can't get the balance of the car right. Fighting loose, made big changes last pit stop, but Stenhouse says it feels like they've made no changes at all. Shannon?
Well, tonight has been a complete team effort for the 3 car of Austin Dillon. You saw the last pit stop. His guys got him 3 extra positions on pit road. His crew chief, Danny Stockman, has made all of the right calls. At the start of the race, this car was so loose, he said the right rear was driving it. They have made slow changes, and now he says the car is great. Remember, he got the lucky dog on lap 83. Dave?
Atlanta has not been the best track for our points leader, Elliott Sadler. In fact, until tonight, his best finish in any NASCAR series was 6th in the Cup Series back in 2003. Still complaining that his car is getting looser and quickly looser this run. Shannon?
A great night for Cole Witt. He's coming off that 6th place finish last week at Bristol. He is currently holding down the 5th spot. To prepare for this race, he went back and watched some in-car cameras of some of the past drivers of this junior motorsports team. One of those guys, Jamie McMurray, who won this race in 2010. Dave?
Kyle Busch currently running behind him, and Kyle running in the 6th position right now, describing his car right now as pathetic. They need to do something to give him a little bit more speed here. He finished 2nd in the truck race last night, complaining that the equipment was a little bit too old that he ran. Tonight, that's a brand new race car, and they're still having some trouble for Kyle in Atlanta. He just got by Sam Hornish Jr., who's having a good run. Again, Sam has been loose most of the evening. The real high point for them, and he's complimented them on it, pit stops. They have had very strong pit stops, picking up positions on pit road, and that's helped the 12 maintain this top 10 position. Vince?
The 31 of Justin Allgaier is running 8th. Allgaier, the only driver in the Nationwide Series to finish top 10 in all the mile-and-a-half races this season. Right now, though, the car is just too loose. They've been fighting that throughout the course of the day. They've made some adjustments to it, put a rubber in the right rear on that last stop, but they just can't find the balance in it right now. Now, the 99 of Travis Pastrana, we talked a lot about Pastrana tonight and how well he has done. This is just his 7th race in the Nationwide Series, or his 8th race in the Nationwide Series, and it is the final race that he is scheduled to run this season. So far, he's been able to keep it on the lead lap. That's been their goal tonight. Wow, how about that? Looking like a little rally ride right there for Pastrana. Mike.
Despite falling down 2 laps early because of a sequence of pit road penalties, Brad Keselowski has remained focused and poised, has not lost his composure one bit, and has made his way all the way back to the lead lap and is fighting inside the top 10. He's been rather quiet on the radio lately, only wanting to know the speeds of the leader, Shannon.
Michael Annett currently running 11th. They spent the practice session today as a test session for upcoming mile-and-a-halfs, and what they tried did not work. So they went back to their standard intermediate program, but it used up all their tires, so really had no idea how this car would react once the green flag dropped. It's been a little bit loose, but other than that, he is hanging tight 11th right now. Mike?
Mike Bliss, a similar story to what you just said, Shannon, about Michael Annett. Talking to him before the race, he had no idea what to expect out of his race car. Practice conditions not like what they're experiencing in the race. He was lacking grip during practice. Right now, relatively happy with his race car, although he said it could be a little bit more free, still a little bit tight. Behind him, Joe Nemechek, talking with his crew chief, Gary Cogswell, this morning. He was optimistic. Thought this race was more of an old school type of race, something that Joe Nemechek is very familiar with. He knows how to manage his tires and expected that they would have a good run tonight. That has been the case. They've been good in turns 3 and 4, just a little bit loose in 1 and 2, Shannon.
Danica Patrick still on the lead lap, but it really has been a struggle for her in this race tonight. The car has been very loose, and her crew chief, Tony Uri Jr., told me this track would be one of the top 5 toughest racetracks for her to handle. They have made major changes. They put 1.5 spring rubbers in the left. They took 1 out of the right. She's still saying she's loose, but the car is starting to snug up just a little bit. Marty?
And she is the last car on the lead lap on 14th position, and about another second behind her, you'll see the race leader. There comes Kevin Harvick, so she's in jeopardy of going down 1 lap. Again, we have 45 laps to go, and as we head to commercial break, I want to show you that great save by Travis Pastrana. Yeah, he knows how to slide. Nice save, Travis. A problem for 2 cars, especially the 22 and the 38. Keselowski and Kasey Kahne both got busted twice. Keselowski was able to get back on the lead lap. Kahne is behind the wall. Kyle Busch, well, they had problems, but it was under caution. There was a little mix-up on communication, and they got back out. He's on the lead lap. Problems for Denny Hamlin when he lost a tire. Danica Patrick runs over it, but no harm, and she's still out there. And then Travis Pastrana makes history as he leads for the first time in his Nationwide Series career. He's still on the lead lap, shown in 9th position. Kevin Harvick is the leader by 9.3 seconds over Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Elliott Sadler is 3rd. Austin Dillon 4th. And you're wondering, Sam Hornish Jr., the other contender for the championship, he is running in 7th. All cars on the lead lap. Mike Massaro has caught up with a disappointed Kasey Kahne.
Yeah, and a frustrating night finally comes to an end for Kasey Kahne. What ultimately ended it for you?
Just too many mistakes. I made plenty throughout the race, speeding a couple of times, and they gave me a great car tonight. The great Clip Chevrolet was fast from the start. We made a nice adjustment there, the first stop, a great pit stop, and then I just started taking over from there and finally finished it for us. So it was a rough night, but the whole Turner Motorsports team did a really nice job. Trent did a great job crew chiefing, and I just made too many mistakes, so we'll have to figure that out and quit it.
Thanks for your time.
All right.
Good news is, Marty, talking with Kasey, says you got a real good car for tomorrow night.
And as you were finishing up, Elliott Sadler got around Austin Dillon, so moved Sadler into the 3rd spot. Austin Dillon now in 4th. Cole Witt is still running in 5th, so that rounds out your top 5. Everybody's chasing Kevin Harvick. Now, he only has 1 top 10 in his last 9 Cup races, and my question to both of you, does this kind of performance help him tomorrow? Absolutely does. I'm a firm believer in that, just because of the momentum and the positive energy you carry out of a night like this. It can't do anything but help.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that it certainly can't hurt anything. Yeah, confidence is a wonderful thing, as we see Cole Witt up here in 5th after a solid run last week. So that does amazing things to a driver and what you're able to do with a race car.
Kevin has 40 laps on this set of tires and this fuel run. When do you want to pit there, crew chief?
Well, you're going to run it down here just as long as you can on this fuel, because what you don't want to do is pit too early. Somebody else stays out there and pits late and has a lot fresher tires at the end. The only way they're going to lose this thing is if somebody is able to have some fresher tires on a late restart. I try to run this thing as long as I could, and as fast as this car is, I don't see any reason to try not to stretch it here.
That was Michael Annett on pit road. As you saw, there is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. now 10.2 seconds behind. That's Danica Patrick. She is now a lap down, and she shouldn't feel bad. There's only 10 cars on the lead lap. Mike Bliss has now joined her in that group, and Travis Pastrana will be joining soon as Kevin Harvick continues his march through Georgia.
We should run about 10 more laps before we see Harvick and the rest of the leaders make those green flags stop.
Yeah, and on that first green flag run that we did, where Harvick waited pretty much till everybody else got on pit road, so it's not like he's got issues with tires or fuel and being able to go as far as he wants to.
Mike Bliss and the 99, and
got a flat, hit the fence, is that what happened?
You can see Pastrana got a little too close to the outside fence. And he is on pit road. Let's go back and show you what happened.
Really looks like that he might have a tire going down there. That car just never did turn, so it looks like maybe the right front was going down a little bit there.
They got a ton of damage up there. They're having a hard time getting the tire off.
Yeah, this is going to be a disappointment for him because he had run so well. We've got 32 laps to go when Travis had this issue, and meanwhile, the 33 car we were talking about during the break, they haven't had any issues at all.
No issues for them. Back to 99, just say they'd been out there a long time on that set of tires, so it could have been the situation that, you know, a little too much camber, they might have worn it out on the inside or something like that. Yeah.
May not have blown out, but he could have gotten it down into the cord and just took off on him.
Well, look at Harvick all night. He's just had that left front and that splitter down off inside the yellow line on the bottom of the racetrack. And well, he really makes it work with these cars.
It's almost like he's found a way to hook the left front down below that line. It just makes the car go around the corner so much quicker. And I've seen him do this before. The other time he dominated, we talked about it, it was 2009. His car did exactly the same thing. He was able to just hook that left front and go.
Well, you know, we always like to find out what everybody's thinking about out there in the social media. Here's Rodney Childers, crew chief on the 55, and I think it's safe to say that the 29 car and Kevin Harvick will be really strong tomorrow night. He has put a whooping on everyone.
Well, it looks like Rodney Childers thinks that there's some momentum carryover from tonight's race over till tomorrow night.
I mean, just look. Now, remember when we saw Brad Keselowski and he was hacksawing that wheel just to keep his momentum? Kevin's just, it's like a Saturday night drive.
Yeah, the only time you see him really moving the wheel is through the bumps there, but he's able to get that left front, as Andy was talking about, down, and then he drives so straight off the corner that he's not having to move the wheel.
That was the gap we just showed you when Harvick went through and all those other cars, and there's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 10.9 seconds behind.
Well, he's chasing a loose car now, too.
Now, Ricky's got a sizable margin over third place, a couple of seconds to Elliott Sadler, and there is Austin Dillon right behind Elliott.
All three of these guys, Stenhouse, Sadler, and Dillon, are having very solid nights. You know, they're sitting there outrunning people like Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski. But they've just got one of those Cup drivers that's just unbelievable. But as we ride along with Austin Dillon here, solid night for him so far, Shannon.
Yeah, Dale, so I told you this is Austin Dillon's very first nationwide start here. But when he got passed by Elliott Sadler, his crew came over the radio and said, copy his line exactly, line for line, throughout the entire racetrack and try to hunt him down. Remember, these guys are not only teammates, but they are also going for the championship. So you can watch Austin. He is trying to follow that line exactly.
That's a good learning experience for him to see. You know, Elliott had fallen back from Austin a little bit, and I think that was probably experience of not using up too much of his tires. But I've seen Austin now that once he lost that position to Elliott Sadler, that he's able to kind of keep up with Elliott and, you know, see what he was doing to maybe save his tires a little bit more. And he'll just put this in his memory bank and be better the next time he comes here. Doing a great job tonight.
Sometimes it's easier said than done, though, to try to follow somebody else's line. Well, their car could be handling a lot different than yours.
Richard Childress was very emotional last night when grandson Ty Dillon won his first Truck Series race. He's in great position right now because not only is Austin doing well, but he's leading with Kevin Harvick, and Harvick has 32 of his 37 wins driving for RCR. And the 54 has come down pit road. There's Kyle Busch, and here comes the 33 of Kevin Harvick for his final stop. Dave?
Well, on Kyle, they're basically looking around the car and saying, where haven't we worked on this thing yet? And so any adjustments here, you see the wedge wrench going in. That will be a wedge adjustment. Are really just trying to find some sort of handle for Kyle. Meanwhile, for Kevin Harvick, much better. This car doesn't need any adjustments. He just wants those fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles before the end of this race. He's going to get enough fuel to make it to the end. The crew has been spot on so far tonight. As they work to the left side, they'll try to get the leader back out cleanly. Vince?
The 6 of Ricky Stenhouse, they've been looking for the sweet spot of the balance of this race car all night long. Haven't found it. They're going to make another chassis adjustment. 4-tire change and Sunoco fuel for Stenhouse. Dave?
Chassis adjustment for Elliott Sadler. 4 fresh tires. Sadler saying his car is loose still on this run, and he's out of pit road.
So a lot of the front runners now make their stops and make their way back out. Now keep this in mind, the 33 had a 12.3-second lead when he started his entry into pit road, and boy, you saw, looked like Sam Hornish, yes it was, lighting up the tires trying to slow down. We'll have to see if he made it.
We used all of it up getting in there.
Shannon?
Well, Cole Witt says the car is loose, but still fast. That's a good thing. He's going to come down pit road. That 88, you see the guys working on, it's going to be a 4-tire change for Cole Witt, who's had just a tremendous night here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Dave?
Sam Hornish not happy with his race car. Down on the track bar, 2 full rounds. Sam's saying, I don't feel like the race car is in the racetrack at all. Let's try track bar this time. 4 tires and he leads.
On the right side of your screen is Justin Allgaier, our 6th different leader tonight, as he still has a stop in his future. Now, we mentioned Sam Hornish Jr. coming down pit road and having a hard time on the entry, as we have seen several times. Let's go back and show you and see if he made it.
Oh, man, is he on the way? He had it locked up.
Yeah, that's too fast in, Chris.
And yes, he is going to have to serve the drive-through, as it's going to really hurt Sam, as he will fall off the lead lap.
Yeah, Hornish is coming down pit road right now, and you really have to make sure that you don't slide the tires, because that's the ones you're going to finish the race on.
Man, look at Elliott Sadler's car just take off.
Yeah, they had a really slow stop apparently, because the 3 car of Austin Dillon, who came in behind Elliott Sadler, went out in front of him, and Kyle Busch was quite a ways behind Elliott Sadler. So
Travis Pastrana back out, but he still looks like he may have some issues. A lot of sparks out the back.
Oh, he's got issues. I mean, he pounded that wall. See, he's got his hand out the window. And everybody, he's coming in.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't drive it.
No, you heard
for
him.
you to get your wedge wrench. We need to raise the front of the car.
So a tough break for Travis, as he had a very strong run going. Justin Allgaier continues to be the race leader. His lead over Brad Keselowski, 7.5 seconds. And remember, Keselowski fought his way back from 2 laps down to put himself in this position. But again, those two still have to make one more stop. And guess who's lurking in 3rd? Kevin Harvick.
You got to do something different. I mean, Harvick's been wearing everybody out. Jimmy Elledge, I'm sure, is thinking with Allgaier, is he can just tick these laps on down, and the caution comes out. He comes in and gets fresh tires, and he can he'll have to start behind him, but he'll have a lot quicker car.
There you see Harvick, his last lap compared to the leaders, 10 miles an hour difference.
Yeah, it's worth a lot, these new tires are. And this is the kind of thing you'll see, though, if they can run about 10 more laps, a lot of this speed's going to be gone off these tires for Harvick, and Allgaier will be able to put on new tires. Maybe he can drive up there and pass him.
Well, we've got 19 laps to go, and if anybody is out there looking for a caution, we can tell you the final green flag stretch has been 23 laps or less in 7 of the last 9 Atlanta races. But I don't think it makes any difference. Even on the restart, Kevin has not been beaten.
Yeah,
He's been out front.
I'm not sure anybody can pass him. I don't care what kind of tires you got tonight.
Allgaier knocks down another lap. His lap time 33.7 seconds. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. went 32.2 seconds. Just to give you an idea of the difference. There you see Denny Hamlin in the 18. Now he is 1 lap down, shown in 10th position.
Allgaier last pitted on lap 120. We're at 177, coming up to 178. I kind of think he's getting pretty close on fuel.
And it looks like Denny Hamlin is turning down pit road and lights the tires up, trying to make the entry. With 17 laps to go, he's got to be on fumes.
He's definitely at the end of it. They had a lot of caution laps in this last round. If you remember, they had a little hard time getting the field set, so they ran quite a few caution laps.
Of course, the 31 last week had the tough break at Bristol, as ended up finishing.
Those tires are gone though. Allgaier.
And there's Danica Patrick as she is making her stop. She peels off at 9th position.
Yeah, she might have been close to speeding on her entry to pit road also.
Let's send it to Shannon Spake.
Well, Danica Patrick still battling a loose race car. That's been the story of her race the entire night. Bringing it down pit road. It is going to be a 4-tire change for the 7 car. You don't see a wrench in the back window, so it doesn't look like there's going to be a chassis adjustment on this pit stop, but it is going to be 4 tires for Danica.
And Justin Allgaier continues to motor out there on the track. His lead over Kevin Harvick, who has gotten around Brad Keselowski, is 4.5 seconds. Now let's go back and show you Danica's entry to pit road, because we were wondering if maybe she was going to get caught for speeding. You're on board.
4,000. Come on down. Come on down. Give it up. Give it up.
Now she did light up the tires a little bit, but
good. 4,000. 4 tires, guys.
She made it. She got it down.
Yeah, just missed the cone too, so everything's good. That's the way you've got to come in.
And we are being told that the 18 of Denny Hamlin will get a penalty for too fast entering. So tough break for Denny, and the night has not gone anywhere close to what he was anticipating. And I still can't believe Allgaier is still out there.
Yeah, what he's looking for is a caution flag. If he gets it right now, he'll be able to get some tires on that thing and pass a lot of cars. Right now, there's only 8 cars on the league lap. That's Jimmy Elliott. He's not afraid to roll the dice on strategy.
Of course, they rolled the dice pretty well. Back in Montreal, it worked out for him. Caution is out. Our 7th caution of the night.
Yeah, baby.
And there is debris down in turn number 1.
Couldn't have worked out any better.
Yeah, I don't know that it'll pay off for him, but
well, he's going. I'm sure there's some cars that he's going to be able to pass.
Oh, he'll pass a bunch of them. I don't know if he'll get to Harvick.
Yeah, probably get up to inside the top 5, and that's better than they've run all night.
Well, the trend continues. We mentioned just a few laps ago that final green flag stretch, and here we go with a caution late here.
I watched everybody start making those green flag stops. I thought, well, I wonder if somebody will try to stretch it a little bit and try to do something different. And I picked out this 31 as being somebody that's not afraid to do that.
Yeah, and the other one that has tires left, I believe, is Brad Keselowski in 3rd. He'll be able to come get those. Now, he has a fast race car also.
Mentioned Brad. There he is.
He's on the 8th.
He's running low on fuel.
Yeah, I think the 31's also low on fuel. He'd be lucky if he gets around here. I'm sure it was running.
What's that just came off?
Water bottle.
Yeah, I think it's his water bottle out.
Okay. Now that could get you in trouble.
Uh-huh. Oh, you see people do it all the time.
Well,
but it's usually after a caution flag pit stop.
Yeah.
It's not when you need no caution.
Oh, he did need one.
Yep, you're right about that.
Okay, so sports fans, stay tuned because we're about to find out what's going to happen.
He was trying to get it on the apron. He was just going a little fast. Didn't get it there.
Well, there's Allgaier.
Like his car, he's still running. I thought I heard he may have shut it off to try to save fuel.
I think he was because he's on fumes, and here he comes. Pit road is open. .45 miles an hour. Justin is heading towards his pit and towards Vince Welch.
And Allgaier was shutting it off because they were 2 laps away from coming into the pit. The yellow came perfectly. No chassis adjustments or any changes, just 4 fresh tires and a little bit of fuel. Mike?
Brad Keselowski on pit road. His tires were very worn and his fuel was very low. They'll fill it up with Sunoco race fuel and bolt on the last set of stickers for the 22.
And we should point out, we have heard from NASCAR that the debris was not the water bottle, so it's not an issue. There will be no penalty. And
that works out for both of them then.
The free pass will go to Michael Annett. That will put 9 cars back on the lead lap. That's right, just 9. And it's going to get interesting because guess who is back in front? Kevin Harvick, the dominator tonight in Atlanta. Olympics that caused the caution. Here was just one of the 2 stops we saw during the commercial break where the safety crews went out on the track, so we wanted to show you that. And we'll get ready to reset it here as we will have 8 laps to go next time by. Okay, so let's show you where Kevin Harvick is. A familiar spot right up front. He's going to take the low line again. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. tried to give him everything he's had all night, but he's just not been, well, nobody's been as good as the 33. Michael Annett got the lucky dog. 9 cars on the lead lap. Behind Harvick Stenhouse, it's Dillon, Kyle Busch, Elliott Sadler, Cole Witt, Allgaier, Brad Keselowski, and Michael Annett. 2012 season, the final green flag stretch was 2 laps or less in 5 of the last 8 races, including the last 3. Is that another omen? Well, we're about to find out as the cars are heading through turns 3 and 4. The pace car will pull down, and we will watch and see if Kevin Harvick does what he's done every other time tonight, have a perfect restart.
All he's got to do is not miss a gear, and this is his.
Green flag, here we go. Stenhouse is trying. Can't get it done. And there goes Harvick.
Here comes Allgaier with those fresh tires. See how much he can get.
Allgaier down low in that 31. You saw Kyle Busch take a look outside. Now we got a crash as the 30 goes around. The 44, the 08. Look out. Ouch. There's going to be a bang there. So that's James Buescher. Then the 08 of Kyle Fowler also in this. Guess we're going to have to do this all again. There's the 44 and the damage on Mike Bliss. Bliss was running in the 11th position, just 1 lap down.
Yeah, man, it's a shame for Mike Bliss. He'd had a solid night.
Looks like Sam Hornish Jr. will be the beneficiary here. He will get the lucky dog. That'll get him back on the lead lap, give us 10 cars on the lead lap. All right, let's go back and show you exactly what happened to create this mess. Our 8th caution.
Danica Patrick up on the high side. I'm not sure that James Buescher knew that she was even there. Looks like there might be some contact. I think these 2 have had a little trouble before. Going back to last year.
Back and show you another angle.
That's really nothing. You can see Danica has the spot there.
Yeah, she's all the way up against the wall.
She actually came down and got into the 44 of Mike Bliss as she tried to dodge what was going on.
All right, let's just listen in on this replay.
Come on. Hold on. Keep digging right there. Probably has some front damage. That 30 came up. Check.
There's a great angle right there.
I've seen that happen a lot here. You just get that big run off the high side, You think, you know, if you're the guy on the bottom, you think you've got the car cleared. And, I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of inches, but you get clipped in the wall pretty easy.
Now we have gone to a red flag situation so that NASCAR can clean everything up here.
Well, everybody's on their last set of tires. There's a ton of debris back there, so if somebody happened to run through that,
great point.
It would be a real problem if they had a flat tire now.
So you can see at the top of the screen we have 7 laps remaining as of right now. And as we mentioned, we'll have 10 cars on the lead lap when we come back to racing. There's the cleanup going on. They get a couple of these cars on the hook. While we've got a moment, while they're taking time to clean up the track, let's check in with some of the crew chiefs. How about it, Vince?
Visit with Mike Kelly, the crew chief for Ricky Stenhouse in the 6. I know you guys have been working on this car, trying to get it good for Ricky all night long. It seems that nobody's had anything for Harvick tonight. You're going to start alongside of him here with just a couple to go. What do you have for him here at the end?
Man, I don't know. I didn't even know Harvick's been in this race. He's been out there all by himself. They've had an exceptional car, but the Cargill Beef Mustang's been second in class kind of all night long. We've been working on it. We haven't made it really that much better. We haven't been able to gain on it, but we'll see what we can do here on this restart. Hopefully we can hold these guys off behind us and get us a good, decent points night tonight.
Yeah, in the battle for the championship, you came into this 19 points behind Elliott Sadler. You championship racing right now, knowing how good Harvick's been all night?
Well, I'm not sure what Ricky Stenhouse is thinking, but I know what I have on my mind, and for sure I know he wants to get a good solid finish out here. We get out of here second. We've led some laps. We'll gain some points, and we'll move on to Richmond next week.
Thanks, Mike. Shannon?
Well, Kevin Harvick, no doubt you guys have had the dominant car. These late race situations and leading most of the laps, you guys have been here before. What's your mindset right now? What do you expect to see once we go green?
Well, hopefully he'll take care of it here on the green-white checkered. I mean, he's the best there is out these restarts and taking care of it, especially he's got the best car. So, you know, the 31 and 22 got tires. I think they're the only ones that, you know, if it all works out, it all matters how this restart all shuffles out. But I think we'll be fine. Sitting up here, what's it like for you to watch such a dominant performance from a car that you set up? Well, this usually is a little easier going than this, but this year we've led a lot of races and we haven't won yet, so a little more nervous than normal. All right, Arnie Cove, thank you. Thanks. Guys?
Yeah, and let's check in also with Cole Witt. He is our in-race reporter, and he has a great run going tonight. He is shown in 7th position. DJ?
Hey, Cole, Dale Jarrett.
The incident from last year.
Yeah, well, there's always two sides to every story, but I think that he did run Danica out of racing room. I just can't see where this time she did anything wrong. This is just the way things happen, as Andy pointed out.
I saw the same thing. I don't think she didn't have any more room on the wall.
And let me correct myself. It was 2 years ago, and we actually have the video. We'll take you back to that moment. She got turned at California. And then here's tonight.
The incident was kind of similar.
Well, you know, I think that Danica's been getting a lot of pressure from her crew chief and others telling her that she's got to stand her ground a little bit more. And I think that's what we saw right there. And I just don't think that she did anything wrong in that case. It's towards the end of the race. You stand your ground. You got to run. And, you know, unfortunate, it created contact and some cars got torn up. But that's racing and the way it goes sometimes.
As she goes back out onto the track, we'll show you one more time from her onboard.
See, she's getting a run. She pedaled the car a little bit. And it looked like he did try to leave a lane. Busher did, but he just didn't leave a full lane for the 7 car to get into.
Keep digging right there. Probably has some front damage. That 30 came.
You know, the one thing I would go back to is Mike Kelly saying, I know what I'd like to, but I don't know if Ricky is thinking the same thing. All Mike needs to do is remind him about Montreal when he saw that opening and thought he could go for the race win.
How'd it work out?
It didn't work out. It did not work out. And the last thing he wants to do here is get too aggressive.
Yeah, what he needs to do is Harvick's going to get a good jump, and Stenhouse on these restarts has been able to get to the bottom, and he really needs to make that happen here and realize that you're not going to do anything with Kevin Harvick tonight. So now you maximize your points and gain what you can on Elliott Sadler.
And he would gain. Right now the differential would be 16 instead of 19 if it ends the way they're running. Now they added a lap because the 12 actually went down pit road and is coming back around to get into position. That's the lucky dog. They are entitled to do that. And Sam is just catching up to the back of the field as we speak. All right, we were talking about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and what can he do with the 33. Let's listen in on the radio.
Just kind of hoping that 33 would start. That would definitely help us out.
Copy that.
Thing looks like it's on a slot car track around here.
Get that for us.
I agree.
He's got it. He's got it perfect. That was their only hope, is what he just said, that thing wouldn't start. It did. So they're in trouble.
And let's quickly check in on Elliott Sadler's crew chief. How about it, Shannon?
Okay, so I sat down and Luke Lambert said to me, what do you think? I told him that's his job. So what do you think?
I don't know. I'm just real proud of the One Main Financial Chevrolet team here. Everybody's fought hard all night. We've, you know, this place is a tough place. You got to keep your tires on your car and keep track position all at the same time. So hopefully we've done the right thing, and hopefully this restart will go clean for us here. So we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you.
Guys.
10 cars on the lead lap, led by Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the front row. Then you've got Austin Dillon and Elliott Sadler side by side in row number 2. Then back in row number 3, there's Justin Allgaier, Kyle Busch. And in row number 4, Cole Witt, Brad Keselowski. The pace car pulls off. There you see row number 5, and we're getting ready to go green. 3 laps to go.
I was wondering if Elliott Sadler might do that, get down there on the bottom side, because there's 2 guys with fresh tires, 31 and 22, coming fast on the outside.
6 is staying side by side with the 33. Harvick has got his hands full right now.
I haven't even seen anybody be able to come off of turn 2 with him. If he can get down there and loosen Harvick up a little bit, no, didn't happen.
Didn't happen. He had 1 shot at it, couldn't quite pull it off. This time by 2 laps remaining.
Comes Keselowski with those fresh tires right behind Elliott Sadler.
What a run by Keselowski. 2 laps down after 2 speeding penalties, and here he is in 3rd position.
He's still got some time left.
You know, and Sadler knew he couldn't hold him off with those fresh tires. He's only hoping that he can go up and get some of Stenhouse. But Stenhouse wants to get to the back bumper of Harvick here.
Look at this run Keselowski's got off turn 4.
He's still got time.
He's coming. There's your top 3. White flags out.
22's coming quick.
1 lap. You heard it. 22 is coming quick.
Stenhouse.
Stenhouse going high. What's happening to Harvick?
Going down or something.
Harvick has led 157 laps, and all of a sudden, this race is going away from him.
Keselowski's only going to have to go to the high side, but he's not going to be able to get to Stenhouse, I don't believe.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is living large. He comes out of 4. He's going to win the race.
Awesome job, guys. Awesome job. Awesome job.
I am speechless.
I don't know how that happened.
Harvick led 157 laps, ends up 3rd. Look at these guys. Mike Kelly and crew.
They didn't expect it either. We heard Mike Kelly.
Nobody in this crowd expected it. And the fireworks go off behind the backstretch. And boy, were there some fireworks on that last lap.
I don't know what. Harvick's got some issues. He ran to the back of Brad Keselowski, going over into 3, and then he's got on the pit road and stopped right in front of him.
Harvick's climbed out. I don't know what that conversation's about. Didn't look heated at all.
I don't think that's the conversation he's wanting to have. I think this next one is the conversation.
Look at the celebration for the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. production director tells us that Kevin was upset about the water bottle.
Well, that's the caution that came out that changed the way the race ended. But the NASCAR said that was not what caused that caution, even though we showed the water bottle.
On the right side of your screen, Ricky Stenhouse has his 6th career win. He doesn't care about the water bottle or anything else that's going on pit road right now. He's celebrating.
No, what a great job he did of driving around Harvick. I don't know if Harvick it looked like he had a problem, but it doesn't seem that there was a tire down. It just couldn't get going that last time. But Ricky Stenhouse, man, you got to give it to him. He never gives up in that race car.
And Kevin Harvick now has a career-long 30-race winless streak in the Nationwide Series.
I don't know how he lost this one.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear from him and see what happened on that last lap. Mike has caught up with Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, catching up with Brad now. Brad just catching his breath. A great comeback, but we got to start with that conversation with Kevin Harvick. What was that about?
I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I'm just starting to catch up. Something about a water bottle. I don't know if the yell came out because of the water bottle, but I don't know what's going on yet. I gotta rewatch and see what he's talking about.
We were told by NASCAR the yellow did not come out because of the water bottle.
Okay. I didn't know there was a yellow for a water bottle to begin with, so it was all news to me. I don't know what's going on. That's the first I've heard it when Kevin walked by, so I just proud of a decent day and a good finish out of my team. And I'll have to rewatch the race to see what everybody else is talking about, because I really don't know. But I mean, obviously, yeah, I threw a water bottle out. Everybody in the dang garage throws a water bottle out, and their tear-offs off their nose. And I don't know what's going on. NASCAR doesn't throw yellows for that usually. So if they say there's another reason, I got to believe them.
Thanks, Brad.
So there you get Brad.
A couple issues I'd like to cover with Kevin as well. First of all, the discussion with Brad, and then secondly, where did the car go in that last restart?
I didn't go anywhere. I mean, the 6 had been good on the restarts on the top side, and you had the car with the freshest tires that threw the water bottle out the window to get the caution, pushing him from behind. So, that's a tough way to lose it. But Bad Boy Buggies was good all night, and those guys they got to my quarter panel, hanging on the outside there, and I just didn't get to the bottom, and they got a good run off of 2.
Even though you did not win tonight, what did this do for you in terms of tomorrow's race?
Oh man, it's kind of how the whole year's gone. We've been right there where we needed to be, and we took a lot from the car from tomorrow to today. But you hate to lose them when they're that good, and you could see the circumstances from the tower and the circumstances from what happened with the 22, not playing in our favor with the 31 and the 22, and you can get to the gas so much harder on restart. He was able to push the 6 up there to the quarter panel. So one of them deals.
Okay, and last thing, NASCAR says it was not the water bottle that caused the caution. Does that change anything in your mind?
Why'd you guys keep showing it on the replay then? The caution came out when the water bottle went out the window, so they can say what they want. They throw cautions when they want to, and tonight they threw it and got what they wanted.
All right, that's Kevin Harvick. Fast car tonight, Shannon. He didn't get the victory he wanted.
Well, Elliott Sadler, you said that this was one track that made you a little nervous. What do you think about a 4th place finish?
Well, I mean, it's a 4th place finish. My guys did a good job. I didn't run too well here last year, and guys brought me a really good race car, and we were just getting a little bit too loose on long runs, lost a little track position there, and fought back there at the end. I'm just proud of these guys in this One Main Financial car. We don't give up, man. We just keep fighting. We just want to win some more races, and we will. But, we'll take 2 top 5s in a row and get ready to go to Richmond. It's the 100th anniversary for One Main Financial. Got a cool paint scheme for next week, and we're going home, so we'll take this momentum there.
4th place for Elliott Sadler. Marty?
After 9 straight wins by Cup regulars, guess what? A nationwide regular is in victory lane. His name is Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. somehow manages to win that race. Now, I talked to Mike Kelly, your crew chief, just before that restart, and he was hoping you were going to take it a little more conservatively. But he said you always have a different idea. What happened on that restart? How'd you pull that out?
Man, that 33 was fast, but Doug Yates, Roush Yates in the shop did an awesome job with this, the body shop. These guys made great changes, Mike, and the guys on pit road did an awesome job. I knew I had to get everything I could on that restart. We got a good restart, and I sucked down on him as hard as I could to slow him down, and he started getting loose up off of 2, and the 22 gave us a push down the front straightaway that helped us get to the lead. So he's going to be a good Ford teammate next year, but got to thank Noss, Cargill Beef, glad to get them another win this year. And Valvoline, Oakley, Tony Lama, Sarah Taylor, everybody, all these guys. It's cool. It's a memorial race this weekend for my buddy Donnie Ray Crawford that I carry on my belt every week, and I couldn't be there, so it's cool that we got this win.
Congratulations. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., winner tonight. Marty.
He cuts the lead to 12 from Elliott Sadler in third place.